Last week we attempted to solve the truck versus conveyor conflict, and I feel I have only made things worse. But today, have no fear, we're going to muddy the water even more so. But before we get started, if you find these videos helpful, spread the word and show it by hitting that thumbs up icon. And if you want to keep up to date with our weekly videos and guides on Satisfactory, don't forget to sub and stop by our Sunday live stream at 5 PM GMT. Anyway, let's get back to the video. So first off, what is faster at transporting items? One truck and a single station versus one conveyor? Well, the winner is, and it's quite clear, I must say, the container. Oh, wait, did I just skip a video? Well, thanks to JD Plays. Do find his link to his channel below. I was in his live stream and he opened my eyes to a whole new way in which we can transport goods. Although many of you have been mentioning it in the comment section. That's a nod to you, Ken Smith. He showed me that containers are the fastest at transporting items, which is why I shall be testing it out today on the same course as we did for the container versus truck. But also it is important to note a few comments people made. So for the sake of this video, Gerbil Williams wrote, "To get a true reflection, you need to consider that the vehicle has to travel two ways, therefore the start and stop point need to reflect this. Ideally, to give a true comparison, you would need to start the vehicle at the drop point in an empty condition. So in order to make this video fairer, we will be starting the vehicle off at the other end." He also mentions that the conveyor should be full but not moving. However, I feel that this would make the use of the containers hugely overpowered. Therefore, I shall start both the container conveyors and the conveyor at the opposite end point to the truck. This is just going to give us a fairer view on how the truck performs whilst not abusing the containers, and also giving us a reasonable comparison between container highways and conveyors. So let's get started. Now, I should also note that this is the same length of track as the previous build, so it's pretty long in distance, and this is going to be as pure a comparison as I can make it for you guys. So with everything in place, let's go. So, as you can see here, in terms of 1v1v1, the container is the clear winner at transporting items, followed by the vehicle in terms of speed over distance. However, we can't have anything more efficient than a conveyor Mark IV at this moment in time. Take, for example, the container highway. It may well be faster, but it'll only send the items as fast as they're being moved from the first point, aka the miner or the factory, to the final point, which is via a conveyor to a container. And the bottleneck is the conveyor. If you're wanting to use a single truck, you can actually use multiple stations. Now, we covered this in the last Mythbusters, and it allows you to put 2 or 3 conveyors worth of items into a single truck. So it can actually be beneficial to use vehicles over conveyors if you want to avoid the frames per second drop issue, which is starting to arise with larger builds, mine included. In fact, I've noticed I'm struggling to get over 20 frames per second at the moment, which is quite worrying. Also, I should note, some people have mentioned that covering up the conveyors reduce the frames per second issue, because the items aren't being rendered on screen. However, I'd argue this is a null point because I'm still getting serious frame drops even when I'm outside of my mega factory. And jumping over to Discord, you can join my channel, the link's below, but jumping on Discord, I've been speaking with people and they've been saying that it's actually the save file computing all the conveyors in a build. It's not about you looking at the conveyors, it's what's in your save file. And thus, that is the reason. So covering it up probably won't do a difference. That being said, if you are doing a conveyor build, you might as well give it a shot. It'll be worth it if it does save you 1 or 2 frames. So, all in all, if you want to have the fastest way to transport items, go with the container line. However, bear in mind it is quite bulky and it does have a high cost to start up. If you want the one that takes up the least amount of room, whilst also being assured there'll be no issues with getting items from point A to point D, from point A to point B, I mean vehicles are buggy as heck right now, then go with the conveyors. Also, it's only a small initial startup cost, whereas vehicles obviously use fuel. And if you want to transport items from multiple miners or factories whilst not dropping as many frames per second in the late game, go with the truck. It also works out better in terms of speed over longer distances, which saves you like doing loads of foundations if you're doing a container highway. Also, the last reason why you might choose one item over the other is if you want something that just looks freaking cool. In which case it really is down to personal preference. I love conveyors. I'm not too keen on conveyor highways, but they're useful. And I think loads of vehicles would be awesome if they all actually worked most of the time. But of course, this is all subject to change once trains and better conveyors come into play. And that'll be hopefully at the end of this month, providing they don't push the update back. But don't worry, click the subscribe button now so that you don't miss that video, because we will be doing another comparison. So basically, when all is said and done, each option is viable. There is no given right or wrong option. It generally comes down to personal preference or having to build a larger infrastructure, which takes time and costs a lot. So there you are. Hopefully it's helped you out. Now, if you did find this video helpful, please do drop a thumbs up like we mentioned before, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe as we post videos every week. Anyway guys, until next time, hopefully I'll see you in Discord, or again, the link's below. Ciao for now.